Back on the Big Green Egg today. We're going to make another brisket. I'm going to kind of show you how I prep mine. This is my favorite way to do it. I've tried some other ways. I keep going back to this, and this is how we do it. I like to make my own honey mustard. Not a whole lot of honey, just mayonnaise, yellow mustard, and raw unfiltered honey. Make a little honey mustard, rub the brisket down, then I coat it in granulated garlic, and then I've got a mixture of more garlic, salt, pepper. That's basically it. I like a lot of garlic on it. I think it makes it taste awesome. It does really well with garlic, salt, and pepper. The honey mustard, there's not a lot of honey because you don't want it to burn, but it coats it good, lets the spices stick to it, and turns out real well. Basically just start off slow with my honey, kind of do it to taste. Make sure I don't get too crazy with it. I think it gives it a little bit of a sweet, and your pepper brings the heat back a little bit. Sometimes I'll throw a little cayenne in with my rub. Sometimes I'll use the same kind of stuff I'd use on a Boston butt. A little more honey. It tastes like too much yellow mustard. I got a pretty good flat this time. I've been buying the monsters with a big lump on the end, and they do well. They're still awesome, but these flats cook a lot more even. They're also about $2 a pound more. I've been getting them at Sam's. Sometimes they're really fatty, sometimes they're not too bad. This one is not too bad. We're gonna cut just a little bit off where it's hard, where it feels hard. When it's hard, that fat won't melt down in, and you don't want it to be chewy. But fat's what makes it good. Holds a lot of the flavor. This side, really not much on here. I might cut this little fold off just so it won't burn. There's a little bit of thick fat there. Just not much. This fat's not very thick on this one, so I don't want to cut too much off. Just shaving just a little bit off. This is really good. Bit of fat. This is a little bit there. I'll trim. You want an inch or two. It really melts off. It's really not that bad. You just don't want those huge grains. Now, this isn't competition style. This is just how I cook it for the family. Cook it the way I like it to taste. Usually I use a cutting board, but got lazy and just didn't feel like getting it out and cleaning it. Basically just rub it down. Doesn't take much. My sweet wife can't have it. She's on a diet. She's been doing awesome. She's been on it for about 4 or 5 months, I think, and has lost 50 pounds almost, like 48. And it looks amazing. And this is kind of my last brisket for a while because I'm about to do the same thing. She's done so well that she's now been asked to be a coach, a health coach, and has a few clients, and is trying to build that up, and is doing awesome with it. She's healthy, she's happy, she looks amazing. So this is my last dance with a brisket for a while, probably 6 months or so. Sad to say, because I love brisket. It's one of my favorite things. So after I get it rubbed down, I just take the garlic, hit it lightly with it. If you call that lightly. And then I take this, it's got more garlic in it. I just didn't like the amount I put in it, so I wanted to hit it with a little more. It's basically just salt and pepper, and garlic. And there may be a little cayenne in there. The meat will take the salt, it'll take it all. It'll take the spices like crazy, especially in the fat grain. Fat will soak it up just fine. And if I don't like the amount of pepper that's in it, I'll add some. I just try to kind of pat it down. I'll flip it over, do the other side, and probably mess this side up a little bit. And then I'll probably cook it with the fat side up, let the fat melt down into the meat. I might retouch it up once I throw it onto the smoker. Again, garlic first. Salt, pepper mix. There's a touch of paprika in here. I made this a little while back, and it wasn't to my liking exactly, so I stopped using it and just started back up. It's too much for the pork, but not too bad for the brisket. Usually let it sit overnight in the refrigerator covered, in the refrigerator covered up and let the spices soak in good. And I don't have time to do that today. It took me 2 days to thaw it out, so. Try to hit the sides a little bit. You don't have to be shy with the spices. Or you can go light with them, whatever you floats your boat. This big hunk of beef can take it. Now, if it was chicken, you gotta be careful. Even pork sometimes. Get the egg going, get the smoke right, and we'll throw this thing on there. I almost forgot an important step, the water pan. I like to get a water pan under the, I'm cooking on a green egg, so I like to get the water pan under the grate, cut up an onion, put some garlic in it, and let that steam up from the bottom up. Works out great. We'll let that thing clean up, let the temperature come back down a little bit. Well, the temperature's only 200 right now, but it'll shoot up. This thing just is full of apple wood. Let it chill out just for a little bit, and we'll throw the brisket on there. The smoke cleans up just a bit. Haven't lifted the lid since it's been put on. Oh yeah, baby. Look at that. That bad boy looks good. Alright. I'm going to probe it. I know it's not up to temperature, I just want to see what it's at. Kind of put it in the fatter end. Well, I've got my camera hooked around the temperature probe. Kind of hard to run this at the same time. Hey! It's at 167. Probably gonna let it cook for about another 30 minutes, and then I'll wrap it, and we'll bring it up to about 202 and let it rest for about 2 hours. That's the key is the temperature. If you keep it about 275, you can go 300. It's not a big deal. Get the internal temp up, get it looking good about like it is now. Wrap it and bring the temperature up to about 202. Pull it. I wrap it in aluminum foil, so they call it the Texas crutch, and then I wrap it in towels, and I stick it in my Yeti, and I let it sit, and usually for about 2 hours. I've let it sit up to 5 hours before I pull it out, and it's still hot. Lets all the juices solidify, lets the toughness of the meat get tender again after it draws up, and it's usually awesome. I can't wait. And my kids just got off a bus and they're like, "Is that brisket cooking?" I'm like, "Yeah, buddy." They're excited. Alright, we're gonna crunch this thing.
now it's sitting on the fat side and all the juice. We'll let it sit like that and we'll bring it up to 202.